Right, Mr. Adi Godrej is also joining us. Mr. Godrej, it's good to have you with us here on the final word tonight. We are hearing right now from industry stalwarts in terms of their reactions with getting Chidambaram back in the finance ministry. He has been in this position before. Is India Inc. expecting to see him push through reforms? What's your take?
I can tell you the CII is very pleased to see the appointment. As you rightly put it, he's extremely experienced in this portfolio. Very clearly, we need the reform program to go forward so that GDP growth is accelerated. And we are very happy that Mr. Chidambaram has been put in charge of it. And we are very confident that he will be able to get the economy going strongly again.
Right. Mr. Kumar, also to bring you back in here, you mentioned something very interesting, or it was a disclaimer as such, saying as long as the political environment allows him to do so. Given the fact that we've got a year and a half left to the next elections, do you really feel that there is enough time for Mr. Chidambaram to manage to push through very difficult reforms such as FDI and retail?
Well, FDI and retail, I suppose, is a difficult one, but not the most important one at the moment, because what he needs to do is to restore the investors' confidence in the economy, which is now at a very low ebb, and as the RBI governor made it very clear today, that process starts by bringing the fiscal deficit back, reining in the fiscal deficit and bringing it into some form of control. That's the first step. The second step, I think, would be, for example, to look at the power sector situation. The sector has been driven to bankruptcy. The power tariffs have to be raised. The state utilities have a debt of about $50 billion, which has to be somehow repaid, otherwise the sector will not go forward. And then, of course, he has to do the FDI in retail, he has to do the GAR, he has to do he has to do the FDI in civil aviation, I suppose. So, a huge agenda facing him, but he's a man who has done it as before. He can do it. When I talked about the political situation, I really did mean that the feeling that I get very often is that today, whenever the government thinks of reforms, it pretty much gets cold feet because of thinking of the political consequences and the electoral consequences. I hope, and I really sincerely hope, that Mr. Chidambaram will rise above that and will not get the cold feet that we have seen so far with this government about the reform agenda.
Still, it's a huge ask where Mr. Chidambaram is concerned to be able to do all that is required to be done right now to restore confidence, to get the FIIs back. Mr. Godrej, what would you like to see on his agenda right now?
Well, I think the most important item on the agenda is getting the goods and services tax done by April 2013. I think the other important reforms we are looking forward to from the finance ministry are basically the fiscal deficit needs to be contained, and there are clearly two important ways to do it. One is to cut subsidies, and the second one is that this investment program should go forward.
Right, let me also welcome in Mr. Y.M. Deosthilly, CMD at Larsen & Toubro Finance. Mr. Deosthilly, thanks so much for joining us.